Hello and welcome to GovDirections. This is Mark Knowles. I'm one of the founders of GovDirections, and this is our GovAdvice services series. And we are here today to talk about capability statements, document that all of us need when we're working with government. And we want to make sure that you're fully aware of what's necessary in a capability statement. And we think if we make you a little smarter, then you will have more success in winning government contracts. And today we got with us Dr. Cynthia Harper, and she's going to lead us in our presentation, and she's going to talk to you about capability statement. Welcome, Dr. Harper. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Mark, and how are you and the good folks over there with GovDirections?
We're doing well, and we certainly thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today. And I just would point out at govadvice.com, you're able to come and read some more about capability statements. And this is a recorded version, and we're going to store it there for our members. And what I'd like to do as you get started is move over to a PowerPoint that you've presented to us, and that'll get us knocked off. So if you want to just maybe introduce yourself, give them a little background, and then we'll get started.
We're wonderful. Well, again, thanks, Mark. I am Dr. Cynthia Harper. So excited. I've been a part of the government market here for the past 20 years, actually. I've been in and out, but the last 5 years, we've been very consistent with working and helping small businesses garner large government contracts, teaching them the ins and outs of how to be successful in the federal space and the value of teaming and the value of the right contracts, the value of knowing what agency is best for you to go after, and how to narrow down this broad process of government contracting. Because certainly it is not, it's a big elephant, but we eat one elephant at a time. And it is something that we can all get a bite of and we can all win. So let's talk about how to create an award-winning capability statement. I'm gonna get some water here. All righty, so a capability statement. It is so important that we create award-winning capability statements because we've entered this government market so that we can win. Let's go, Mark. Let's talk about this right quick. All righty. So what is a capability statement? It is actually the factual representation of your company. Notice I said the factual representation of your company. And it really focuses on the need of the agency. So it's your company focusing on the needs of the agency, providing real solutions with a short company bio. It's your resume for business, and it's a living document. And I want to make a point here. When I say a living document, as your company grows, your NAICS codes change, they grow. You reach different agencies and program managers and procurement directors. You develop different relationships. At that point, when I say a living document, it's important that you go back in and you update your capability statement so that it's always on ready to go. So what is it not? What isn't a capability statement? Well, it's definitely not a brochure. It's not a 10-page marketing package. It's not a flyer or a coupon. It's not a PowerPoint presentation. And it's certainly not a one-size-fits-all. Remember I said earlier that it actually is something that fits the agency you're looking to serve. So why do we need a capability statement? Why can't we just present ourselves, call them up and tell them who we are? Well, there are a lot of people within the federal space trying to win government contracts. So while we do need a government capability statement, because the government doesn't use brochures, you can't send a business resume. You have to send a capability statement. It's used for marketing your company to government buyers, for teaming agreements, and for industry days. And then it speaks to the government procurement language. That's why you need a capability statement. Let's talk about the benefits of a CAPE statement. Well, it opens doors easy to forward. So it opens doors. So it's very easy to forward. What I mean, you can just send it out to other agencies. You can send it out to partnering companies. You can send it out to Osterbooz. It's a very easy send. It's a one page. It's specific. It creates access to start and build a relationship. You have to have relationships in the government space. So this is one of the first things we need is a capability statement so we can develop a rapport, a relationship with other agencies, other people, other teams, and first one thing the other. The government buyers believe that you speak their language. When they see a healthy capability statement that's aesthetically pleasing with the right information on it, they understand you speak their language. And then it addresses the specific needs of the buyer. Remember, everything in the government space is a bid, and there's a buyer looking to procure your product. Yes, your product. The government buys everything from water to vehicles. The government purchases it. In fact, the government is the #1 buyer in the world. So you are doing the right thing by entering into the government market. It also entices agency buyers to consider you once they realize that, okay, they understand this business. And then it leads to more contracts. And that's what we all want, more contracts. Bad or no capability statement? Let's talk about that. It definitely slams the door on you. It'll prove to them that you do not understand the lingo, and it proves that you don't understand how the federal market works. It makes you look risky as well as weak. And it's your first impression, so it kills your credibility. So you must have a capability statement versus a brochure or a 10-page marketing packet. All they need is one capability statement from you. And then it wins less or even no contracts. If you don't have it, it's almost impossible to get past go. So there are capability statement versions. Well, it's a door open version. One is a very high level version with everything that you do included on it. So that one is inclusive. It lists all the different, it's very broad in nature, has many NACE codes, and for general marketing purposes at events, it's important that you have this one. It's a high version. You might meet people from all walks of life, all industries. They might be not just partners, but they might be presidents of companies. So that's good to have your capability statement. You never know who you might get a presentation with, or what we call industry days when you meet face to face to present your case and pitch. So it's real important that you have a high industry one as well. And then there's a specific version where you narrow it down for that specific agency, for that agency's need, and more effective to style. So Mark, let's talk about the 6 C's of a capability statement. I know you've probably seen lots of capability statements. Tell us how important the codes are on a capability statement.
Well, that is true, Cynthia. I have definitely seen a lot of those, and I think that's one of the most important. Clarity of your purpose is probably the first thing I always encourage contractors to be aware of, and having those codes that really centers in on pinpoints on what kind of opportunity you're looking for, and so you want to make sure you have that NAICS code, and I think you want to talk about some of those codes in particular, but the codes are very, very important.
Absolutely. Your codes are very important. So there are 6 C's of a capability statement. The first one are your codes. There are 7 or 8 different codes that we need to make sure, and definitely 4 of them must be on your capability statement. So your codes are relative to the success of your capability statement. Your core competencies. When we talk about the core, we talk about the center. What's the core competencies that you offer? The third one is your company data. Your company data, you only have a short window there to list the company data. So the things that are important and relevant must be listed for the company data, as well as the corporate expertise and differentiators. What are the things that differentiate you? What are you an expert in? Are you a PMP? Are you an 8A company? Are you a woman-owned? What are you an expert at? What did you win? Did you win an award that separated you and made you an expert in this? Why would a company want to choose you when there are 50 to 75 other capability statements they're looking at? In particular, if they don't have a relationship with you. Then the 5th C is the clients and your customers. Where did you get your past performance? How did you use it? Who were your clients? Who were your customers? How did you serve them? That's all past performance. And I want to debunk this myth here that people often think that if you didn't do it in a federal space, it's not counted. That's not true. Most small businesses have come from a corporate client or their own personal business. And so they've worked in that industry for someone. Make sure that's listed as well. And then your contact information. Don't forget your name, your email address, a proper email address. Make sure that you have listed the address, how to be reached, and any other information that would be important for contact information to reach you. Let's talk about some different capability statement versions. Sometimes we have what we call an RFI and an RFP. An RFI is a request for information, and an RFP is a request for proposal. So these are different sources and versions that they look for and they need. You need to create a specific requirement sometimes. If there's a source is sought and it's given to a company that's woman-owned or 8-8, and you need to make sure that you have a specific format as required for that documentation. Very important. So here we go with the codes. Your NACE codes, PSC codes, SIC codes, NIGP codes. All these are codes. And then up under there, we have CAGE code, the DUNS number, your certifications, the contract vehicles in which you are associated with. All of these codes must be listed on your CAPE statement. They're very, very important. And that's why we take our time to make sure we have everything listed that you need, the right websites to find what you need, so that when you present it, it will definitely show that you understand the codes needed to be successful in the government space. The second thing is your core competencies. Remember, I said at the center of you, what are the service or the products that you offer? You know, use bullet points so they can look at it quickly, glance down at it, look at it quickly. And even if you're talking about it, while they're reading, you recite it. You need to understand everything on your capability statement and what you've done. Short sentence fragments. It's real important that you have short sentences and fragments. They're not trying to read a full detail, not a long narrative. Select the key offerings, and very important, relate your offerings to meet the needs of the agency. Very, very, very important to meet the needs of the agency. Your company data. A brief pertinent history of your company is really relative here. You know, how many years you've been founded? 5+ years, 10+ years. What's the size of the firm? It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 people. How many employees you're serving. And then you could talk, if it's 3 or 4 of you or 2 of you, how many years collectively of experience that you have garnered in this certain expertise. You know, who are the key individuals in the companies? What are their backgrounds? Where are the previous bankers, IT developers, IT directors, you know, HR consultants? These people are very important because it allows a company to understand that you understand what it takes to run a business. You know, where are you? Do you have offices, warehouses, locations? Are you virtual? You know, and we're living in a virtual society, so we can reach more people virtual than we can anyway. And then team partners, JV partners, you know, who have you worked with and who are you trying to work with? So all this is a part of your company data. Your corporate expertise and differentiators. The summary of your company's expertise is very important. Summarize the things that your company is a SME, the subject matter expert in. Special knowledge, abilities, and training. You know, again, what is the special knowledge you have? Are you ISO 9000 certified? Have you worked with a special secret mission with your company? What are the skills or the technical expertise? Are there any technologies or patent techniques? You know, what are your industry certifications like CMMI or PMPE or LEED or Lean? Any of those industry certifications are relevant to the success of your capability statement. Again, your quality standards, you know, your financial stability, and if you're bonded, you know, what can you be bonded? Or are you already bonded? Because some companies, you must have bonding capabilities to move further with some of the contracts, not all of them. Let's talk about your clients and your customers. Your past performance is so important. Whether it's government or not, your past performance is very important. Who are your clients and your customers that you've done work with? And trust me, they will look to see if you've done work with these customers. You know, select from your government customers first. You could have worked with IBM, but you all worked on a government project. That's great for past performance. Select the largest clients as well. It's real important that you know that they feel like you're comfortable with working with large clients. And then the key here is list customers most similar with the agency you're marketing to. List the customers who have worked. If you want to work with HUD, but you've worked with HUD or another company similar to HUD, a housing development agency, but you want to work with HUD now, list that you've got that experience between the two of those companies and agencies. So make sure you include all the reference name, contact info, size of project, if you're meeting a contracting officer or a decision maker in person. And number 6, the contact information. A nice logo, your company name, points of contacts, your address. And Mark, I want you to make sure they note, we do not use post office box on capability statements.
I think that's an important point. So make sure that you get a professional document.
Absolutely.
As Cynthia has told us here today. And I just wanted to, call attention to this. Is just one of the services that GovDirections has in place, and you can contact us for a personal consultation. And Dr. Harper would be glad to work with you individually. Just go to the GovAdvice.com website or call us at 800-492-8523. That's 800-492-8523, and you can reach out to us, and we'll have someone work with you on preparing that. I think it's generally helpful to have guidance in this process. It's such an important document, and we would really certainly like to help you with that. So thank you for coming and talking with us today, Cynthia. We look forward to you participating in additional series with us.
Thank you so much, Mark. Good luck.